Good afternoon. So I have worked as a director of sport in schools for over 20 years. And as you can imagine, in that time, I have seen lots of adults giving lots of children lots of advice. And dare I say, quite a lot of it can be what I would term cliche advice. The cliche. And what I want you to think about in the next few minutes are some of the pearls that come with that cliche advice, some of the wisdom that you can take from it. But I also want you to think about how you might use that to impact your life and your circumstances right now. But what we're going to do first, we're just going to unpick what the cliche is and what it might mean. Okay? And so for me, when I looked for a definition of a cliche, the best that I could come up with came in two parts. So it was this. It was an often used phrase or expression that can stifle creativity or original thought. Okay. So let's take the first part of that. An often used phrase or expression, like, eat your greens. Well, there's no harm in that. That's just good advice passed down from generation to generation. Wise, good advice. Stay healthy, eat your greens, get big, get strong, eat your greens. Nothing wrong with that. When you delve into the second part of our definition, though, that's where we might need to give it some thought. Can stifle creativity and original thought. Because you will know that, yes, we should eat our greens, but we also need to ask ourselves, where have they come from? How much did they cost? What might have been sprayed on them? And if you listen to my wife, how do we cook them? Because overcooking your greens diminishes the nutritional value. I've been told that time and time again. So what we're going to do is we're going to unpick 5 sporting cliches that I've heard teachers and coaches use during the course of my career with young people. And this is the first one. You can achieve anything. Well, sorry, but you can't. You can do great things. Listen, you might change the world, but you can't just achieve anything. I'll give you a little example. Usain Bolt is the quickest man on the planet, 9.58 seconds for the 100 meters. So let's say Usain's having a bad day for the sake of mathematics. Okay, he's having a really bad day. He can run the 100 meters in 10 seconds. So he is traveling at 10 meters per second. Now, in my younger, fitter days, I could run the 100 meters in about 12 seconds. So if you say it quickly, it sounds like I could give Usain a race. 10 seconds, 12. What's 2 seconds between friends? But when you think about it, if he's traveling at 10 meters a second, in a 100-meter race, he's beating me by 20 meters. You know, the width of this stage, at least. I'm not even in the frame. I can have the best diet, the best trainer, the best equipment. I'm never catching Usain Bolt. It's not going to happen. I can get a lot faster. I can be as fast as I can be, but I'm never going to catch the fastest man on the planet. And that brings me to my next cliche. Never give up. How many times have we heard that? Now, I can see why we say that to young people. Never give up. We don't want you to quit at the first sign of difficulty or adversity. We want you to overcome it. But never is a long time. And I'm going to use my speed or my lack of speed to give you a little story that might help you with this. When I was 15, I played football for Brentford Football Club, and I had dreams of playing in the Premier League. Of course I did. And then I had that conversation that 99.5% of academy footballers have. I got released, which is a polite way of saying you're not good enough. And the primary reason, you're too slow. That really hurt. That really cut me deeply. But actually, when the pain started to subside a little bit and I started to process other parts of that conversation, I realized that they were probably right. And they were right about my strengths as well. They said to me, you can see the game clearly. You can see the pictures within the game really, really well. Now, I sort of used that to have a moderately successful playing career. But actually, that's why I'm standing here today. It's helped me forge a teaching career and a coaching career where seeing the pictures clearly and communicating it to young people is what I need to be able to do. So I didn't give up, but I did spot when it was right to change direction. And you know that change of direction It was painful and it was unpleasant at times. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but it needed to happen. And that brings me to this, my third cliche. You can only try your best. Yes, that's true. You can only try your best. But my slight problem, and this may just be me, my slight problem with this one is, when I think of someone only trying their best, it's a sunny afternoon, we're playing on the field with our friends, it's a carefree game, the stakes are low, the outcome doesn't really matter because there's no real consequence to it, and I'm trying my best. But am I? Am I really? Or am I just putting in a respectable amount of effort? An acceptable amount of effort? Which, by the way, is okay. We spend a lot of our lives doing that, just putting in the required amount of effort. But don't label that as your best. Because your best is everything you've got, everything you can muster. Your best might look like 5 a.m. starts, late night finishes. Your best might look like time away from your family and friends and making sacrifices. So when we label something our best, do it sparingly, but then give it everything. And then, here's cliche number 4. It's only a game. Don't worry, dear, it's only a game. My mum used to say this to me all the time. It used to drive me crazy. Because it is only a game. But when you have devoted your day, your month, your week, your year, your life to that game, and you don't get the outcome that you wanted, in that moment, it doesn't feel like a game. It feels like a whole lot more than that. There was a famous football manager, Bill Shankly, who said, some people say that football is a matter of life and death. I don't like that attitude. I can assure you it's far more important than that. Now, we know that football or any other game is not a matter of life or death. But when you've given your best, truly given your best, that's how it can feel at the time. So the young people in the room, you need to work your way through those emotions. And as us adults, we need to not try and fix that for you and belittle that, because that's what you're feeling. We need to help you work through it, and in time you will realize that actually, yes, it is only a game. And that brings me to this one, my final cliche. The adult is always right. Now, when I walk my dog on a Sunday morning, I see lots of junior football matches happening, lots of young people playing football, and lots of adults in tracksuits being very loud and very right very often. And I should say, in the interest of balance, sometimes those adults are right. Sometimes they do have a point. But quite often, the young person on the pitch is right. And most often of all, as with many things in life, the truth lies somewhere in between. And that's probably where I want to finish. I want you to take all the pearls of wisdom and lived experience that the people who've gone before you have to offer you. I want you to interpret it, understand it, and personalize it. Because I think that's your best shot at a happy, successful, and fulfilling life. I wish you every success, and thank you for listening.